Saskatchewan Roughrider Dhel Duncan-Busby, who was selected last year in the CFL Draft, third round, 23rd overall. Dhel, thanks for making some time. Probably a busy day with training and the election and everything for you.
No, exactly. No, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Last year, let's go back to the draft. Let's take us through this. Did you have any inkling, where you were going to go, teams you talked to, that, you were going to end up with the Riders in the third round? Any of that?
No, I honestly didn't necessarily know where I was going to go. To be honest, I talked to all 9 teams, especially at the Combine. The only team I didn't talk to was Montreal, but I talked to them earlier in the year in January at a showcase. And other than that, I talked to everybody. Everybody seemed to like me. So it didn't seem as to when, if it was going to happen type thing. It was kind of when. For a second there, I thought that it could have potentially been BC just because it just seemed like it lined up at the right time. But Saskatchewan picked me, and honestly, I'm super grateful for it, and I honestly wouldn't have it any other way.
When you were chatting with other teams, who did you meet with from the Riders? Was it Corey Mace? Was it Jeremy O'Day? Who were the conversations with?
Oh gosh, I felt like the whole coaching staff was there. It was they were in this little conference room, and honestly, that was when I first met Coach Mueller. I talked to Coach Quay, wasn't there, which is the wide receiver coach. He wasn't there in person, but he was there on Zoom. He asked me a couple questions, and I felt legitimately talked to everybody. It felt like.
Take us through the room. How long is the interview? What kind of questions did they ask?
Yeah, that seems intimidating.
Yeah.
It depends on the team. A lot of the teams, they just ask me, would I be willing to special teams, what I think my strengths are, what I think my weaknesses are, kind of what my best games were if they were to go back and rewatch my college tape, which game would I recommend, and then also which game would I not recommend just because I felt like I didn't do as good, just so they can see kind of both sides of the spectrum there. And then it felt like a lot of personality questions. There was definitely some football stuff, just I remember Ottawa, they asked me about one of their plays that they have. And then, so they led off with it. And then by the end of the interview, they're like, okay, do you remember the play? And then do you remember what that meant? So that was kind of one of them that kind of stood out. But for the most part,
did you?
I did remember it. Honestly, I can't remember it now, but I did remember it at that time. But yeah, a lot of it honestly just felt like a lot of personality stuff. Would I be willing? I remember one question that Coach Mace or Coach Mueller is one of the two that asked me, they're like, well, would you mind living in small town Regina? And I was like, honestly, I just want to play wherever wants me. And that was kind of my overall answer to all the teams, and kind of the typical, why would we draft you? What can you bring to our team and stuff like that? So, a lot of it was kind of the stereotypical questions that you may think, but it was a fun process overall.
So if they did ask you a standard question, what do you think you could bring to the Saskatchewan Roughriders? Now that you're a year removed, we don't know what your answer was, but do you think you lived up to what you said you were going to bring to Rider Nation over these past 12 months?
In a way, yes. I got hurt at the beginning of the season, so I didn't quite start right off the bat. Kind of by the end, that was when the last 6 games was when I started and stuff like that. I put my all out there, the best that I could. I was definitely rough. There was some, the rookiness and just kind of adapting to the speed of the game was definitely something that I had to kind of learn on the fly. But one of the things that, I said was just I've been around winning a lot. In college, I won 2 conference championships. We made it in deep playoff runs and stuff like that. So, I feel in a way, just being a part of the team and just kind of the energy that I like to bring, that, it kind of contributed to the fact that we were winning and stuff like that. But yeah, I would definitely say that a part of it was definitely was my passion, and just my knowledge of the game was definitely where I excelled, and I felt like I definitely kind of showcased that last year.
Roughrider Receiver Dhel Duncan-Busby joining us here on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. That receiving room last year, veterans in there, some young guys, yourself, a Joe, who went in the draft last year as well. Were there guys? Was there one guy specifically that kind of really took you under his wing? That was grooming you, helping you in that group?
Keyshawn Johnson, he was my roommate last year, so he was number 3. Great guy, honestly, great dad, great, yeah, just a great guy overall. But I mean, he was down in the States. He played in the NFL. He got drafted in the NFL, and he kind of saw what I was going through, especially with my injury. Like, it was kind of a tough time, just because I'm like, you know what, I want to be out there, and knowing that I can't just kind of sucked. So he was definitely there to help me with my mental and stuff like that. Joe also, I mean, not under my wing, but those are 2 guys that I roomed with and hung out with a lot. Stearns, Jared Stearns, and I mean, Joe Robustelli, who's also he's an old young guy, but I mean, those are all like the kind of guys that I kind of hung out around a lot. On the football field, I would say like Sam, because Sam Emilis, he was right beside me. He played like our little slots, and then I was on the outside. So if I ever had any questions, or if I may not have known something, he was definitely one to help me out, and he would pull me aside during practice, and he would talk to me and be like, all right, like, just do this a little bit better and stuff like that. So I felt like as a collective, they all kind of helped me in different ways. I mean, it's a great group of guys that we have out here, and I mean, yeah.
So it's one thing to get drafted, and then you go to rookie camp, but then day 1 of main camp, what's the difference in competition like from rookie camp to the very first practice of main camp? Because there has to be, because now you're playing for jobs and livelihoods and money. Everything's on the line.
I would say it almost felt kind of scattered, because at rookie camp, like, everybody's trying to learn what's going on, where once you get to main camp, like, everybody knows what the deal is. Like, they've been practicing, they've been going over the playbooks, like, they understand what their assignments are and stuff like that. So it definitely felt more refined at that point. Rookie camp just kind of felt like talent. Like, that was like, you know what, you go out there, you do what you got to do. It was kind of like a base install that we got. And it was just like, you know what, just go out there, play football. Once main camp started, we went back to like the same install that we did, but then we expanded on that playbook. And I mean, by practice 5, 6, 7, 8, like, it was just like everybody is just so locked in. And I felt like the intensity and just having like the vets around was definitely something that was very huge. And it was definitely interesting.
Was there a welcome to the CFL moment? Maybe it was in camp. Maybe it was, early in the year when you played, that you were like, oh wow, I'm here.
It would, I mean, not like a welcome to the CFL moment, as in like, oh, like, I got hit. Like, that's usually where a lot of people kind of go with.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, for me, it was like my first snap being out there. I mean, I was terrified. I hadn't played football in so long. It was right after one of our guys got hurt, and I finally got my call. And I went out there, I was kind of shaking on the line, and then I finally got like my first catch. I pointed for a first down. It was not a first down. It was kind of a bad look. But I mean, that was that was the Montreal game. So like, I felt like that was kind of like my, you know what, like, I'm actually here, like, I'm doing this. And I'm kind of making my dream come true in playing professional football.
When you finally did get into the lineup near the end of the year, and I thought, wow, and the clutch catches you were making, to you, in your mind, who was the best defense that you had a chance to play against last year?
Oof, who was the best defense? Honestly, I had to just like one-on-one matchup wise. I mean, Montreal was definitely one that we had to go through a lot, just to kind of like, because they did so many different things on defense. So I remember there being a lot of prep going into that. I feel like individually, it was probably like going up against BC. Like, that's kind of where like that sticks out to me, just those corners that they had there. I mean, they played tough, they played gritty. Ottawa was also pretty good. They had their Sam linebacker was pretty good over there, which also turned out to be my best game last year. But yeah, I would say Ottawa and BC and Montreal, those were like the 3 that kind of stick out to me from last year.
We've talked about it a lot on the show when we had Trevor on last time as well. Just that continuity, right? Another year, it's like the runway. You guys have done this as a group. What is the one thing, or what are the things, if you can put it into layman's terms for us, people that are just following and watching and excited? Is it like tendencies of players? Is it the playbook? Is it, the cadence or the audibles maybe a little bit better? What is that 12 months under your belt as a core give you coming, in a couple weeks here when you guys fire it up in Saskatoon again?
I would say it would definitely just be like the speed of play because I mean last year it was Coach Mueller's first year as the offensive coordinator, so like there were little bumps and bruises and stuff like that kind of went on. Now this year, like we've got that 12 months, like you said, so like now we can just be a lot faster. We can kind of add more things. We can be a little bit more diverse and kind of include different guys and stuff like that. Because last year, just because of how not limited, but like we were kind of dialed back a little bit, where now I feel like, you know what, we've got that 12 months, like now we can actually start ramping everything up. So I would say that would definitely be like the big thing, is just like the speed of play and just knowing what you're doing out there.
Any goals for yourself this year?
Win a ring, man. That's it. I don't really care about my individual stats. That kind of just happens just by doing your job. So, I mean, we want to bring a ring to Saskatchewan, and that's really the only goal that I got.
Speaking of Trevor Harris, Barney mentioned him. Are you on Trevor's crazy diet and workout plan? And if you are, how's it going?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I personally am. I'm a candy guy, so I don't know if I.
Oh, well, bad news. No candy on that Trevor Harris diet these days.
No, so I don't know if I can really follow suit in that, but I've definitely been working on just refining my diet in general, just because it was kind of bad before.
What's your go-to? What's your DoorDash? Yeah,
I'm a big Twizzlers guy, but honestly,
I was going to say Twizzlers.
I love any and all candy. I'm not a big chocolate guy, but like Nerd gummy clusters, those things got a little sweet spot in my heart too.
Blue fish, blue whales.
Yes, with the little marshmallowy thing at the bottom. I love them too.
Oh, there we go. Mm. Yeah. You can hang out here anytime. We got a candy machine in the corner. Yeah, no, totally appreciate you taking some time today. Must be exciting knowing that, kind of days away now to get this thing going. And the draft last year, right? So I'm sure there's going to be guys coming in Saskatoon watching you. You're going to have to help now this year and, take it all in. Thanks for doing this, Dhel.
No worries, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Right on.
No problem. No, if you haven't yet, go vote. Do your civic duty.
Got you. I will.